Good morning and welcome to today's video. Up bright and early today. I'm at Aotearoa Rapids, which is outside of the city of Taupo in New Zealand, and behind me is another lovely scene of nature. Just before I get started on today's topic, I just read out a quote again from my blue book that has a vast array of quotes and prompts that I've collected over many years, and today's quote relates to today's setting actually. And the quote is, 98% of people stumble over the truth from time to time, but quickly get up, dust themselves off and move on as if nothing happened. And that comes from Winston Churchill. And how does that tie into today's setting? Well, in the spiritual world, they talk of synchronicities, that nothing is a coincidence. And in my life, synchronicities have always been there. But these days, it's ever present, literally. So yesterday when I was thinking of a place to stop for the night, camp for the night in my motorhome, I chose this setting. And then I was coming last night just thinking about, oh well, what shall I talk about tomorrow in terms of my videos, and I came up with the topic of energy. So I talk a lot about that in my prior videos and in my writing. And as synchronicity would have it, of course Aotearoa Rapids is right where there is a hydroelectric dam. It's just literally 20-30 meters to my left on the Waikato River. So we've got an electric dam here, and I'm going to be talking about energy, so synchronicity. So it's that awareness of things around you. I talk a lot about being aware of things around ourselves, just thinking a little bit deeper. People could say, well, oh, okay, that's just a coincidence, but in my world it's not these days. Either I noticed what's here, or perhaps the universe delivered in terms of that I'm in the setting of an electric dam, and then I get the prompt to do a topic of energy. And I'll fly into today's topic of energy, which again, just very big, and it's going to be very difficult to actually, I guess, cover a lot. But I always like to, of course, I'm talking about my story, and I'm talking about what I've written about, and I'm talking about topics that I've experienced, so the Gnosis, the Gnostic aspect, so my experiences that have effectively proven to me that these things of a spiritual nature, the esoteric, absolutely exist in my life. The magic exists. First thing in regards energy of examples, I guess, that I'd like to utilize is in 2017, going to a spiritual retreat in New Zealand. Write about this again in my main story, and it was there that I experienced for the first time in a concentrated way, so it was a week-long course, things that had only been fleeting in my life. One of the first major things I'll talk about, we did a group session of a meditation, sitting in a circle, and some beautiful music was played on the name of Sky Burial. Just first time I'd ever heard it. It was effectively a Chinese singer who had Tibetan monks accompanying her. During this ceremony, or sorry, during this meditation I should say, it was the deepest I'd ever felt. I mean, like, so deep, and in that I felt that I was ascending. So I talked about meditation yesterday and ascension. Well, this was definitely ascension, but much more memorable even than that was the surge of energy, such that eyes closed, I was thinking there was a mini earthquake in the room, or happening, as I was effectively moving in my chair as if there was an earthquake. So I experienced really intense energy for the first time in a meditation. Also at that retreat, we did various things, and some miraculous stories in my my own writings about some of the things that happened. I still kind of sometimes wonder whether they did, but I know they did. We walked a labyrinth, and that was the first time I'd ever walked a labyrinth, and we walked together, so it was about 8 of us. At separate times we entered the labyrinth, and then people get to the middle and start their journeys outwards, and at one stage I was walking in to the centre, and there was a lady coming the other way on the path out, so we were on the same path, we let each other pass, but she stopped a few metres away from me. Her name was Jenny, and I had never met someone so spiritual in my whole life. Fairly younger lady, perhaps late 20s, but just an incredible being. Anyway, without going into all the details, when we stopped and looked at each other, just stared at each other, and there was all this, I guess, love emanating between us as two human beings. She reached out and I reached out, and being meters apart, a surge of energy hit me, and I actually took a step back. I actually physically moved back from the energy. So I'm at a spiritual retreat. I'm in a lovely nature setting. We're concentrating on everything to do with the spiritual meditations, sound healings again, healing for ourselves, delving very deep into to things like that. And here I am experiencing the energy. And one other thing I'll just note that I noticed, particularly at night there, that as I laid my head down, what I will call a slight resonance in the, well, it was in my head, but it was sort of like coming from outside, so to speak. So it was me literally tuning into whatever the energies around us was. So it was very noticeable that there was almost like an electric field around me. So I'm having these amazing experiences in the sense that that for a week on and off during this period there, just some really deep experience again. So we're talking the Gnosis. I do keep talking about that, but it's in my symbolism, and I'm tuning into the universe. That's in my symbolism, and I'm uncovering things, and it's in there as well. And I'm effectively going to different realms, so it's all there. I'll jump ahead just in terms of some other experiences that I've had in respect of energy. So without a doubt, the stuff that I had experienced in Peru last year, in July last year, so much to do with energy. First ayahuasca experience, I mean, I just saw energy. I had visuals of energy waves and sound waves, but I saw the energy. That's let alone feeling the energy in the ayahuasca ceremonies. So I also mentioned there in regards to the ceremony which I did with regards to Sapo. So on both these topics of ayahuasca and Sapo, there are prior videos here. And when as I've described in the Sapo experience, when I went to the place that I went to for 5 minutes and I came back, I brought back an overflow of energy in my being. So I was channeling, I was a repository of this energy that I had experienced in the place I went to, and it was flowing out of me, and I grabbed it from my chest and I threw it to people. It was just too much for me, and this is all to do with this. When you're full of enough energy for yourself, you're then in a position to offer it to others. And that's what I'm doing through these videos. So again, as I emphasize, I'm full of energy. In fact, I'm overflowing of energy, and hence I'm utilizing it in the way that I guess my mission has led me to do. And all of these things are not something that I just randomly put together. All of these things are coming from somewhere, and as I say, I believe that I'm fairly deeply attuned into the universe now. I'm not saying I'm fully attuned to the universe, because I think that is an impossibility on a universal, infinite options out there. But this is the highest I've ever been in terms of my consciousness and the levels that I've reached. I'll carry on with regard to energy experiences. So again, part of that whole Peru experience, I did sort of for the next 3 weeks after my 1 week retreat, spend the time traveling in Peru. And Got down to the Sacred Valley, and the Sacred Valley is just that. I mean, it's not false advertising, I can tell you that. To name it Sacred Valley and it not be one would be sort of a bit naughty, I suspect. Anyway, by the time I got there, I mean, I'd done a lot of travel and it was a lot of bus stuff, but I was highly energized. You know, coming out of that retreat, I was still carrying a lot of energy, and I do to this day. And one thing that I recall distinctly recalling was I went on a one-day tour into the Sacred Valley from the city of Cusco, so like approximately an hour over into the valley in a minivan with about 10 others approximately. But the thing about it was that it was right on Peru Independence Day at the end of July, and the crowds were just immense. I mean, it was high season for tourism, but it added in that it was Peru Independence Day the next day. It was just I'd never seen anything like it, and the traffic was at times gridlocked. So we were going to some of the attractions, the main attractions in the Sacred Valley, and there were 5 that we attended, and most of them were up a road, up a hill, and we were crawling up the hills, and we were on a time frame, you know, to fit all this into a day, and there was fairly vast distances. We were on a tight schedule, and the guide was at times hurrying us along effectively. Anyway, what was happening was that we were ending up parking like a few kilometres away from the entranceway and having to walk up the hill because the vans were just gridlocked, and later on the van would come and pick us up. But I was striding out at pace really up to these attractions, and it was like very memorable. There was a family from Chile there, and the father said to me at one stage, he said, "You've got a lot of energy for your age," which was okay. I don't mind what he's thinking about my age, because I was striding out well past everybody and the youngsters as well, I guess. And I just said to him, I turned to him and said, "Yeah, I'm running on spiritual and ayahuasca energy," which I suspect I probably still am today, actually. And then we got to the what is known as the Temple of the Sun in one of the towns called Ollantaytambo, and in that's just an incredible architecture from the Incas. And basically we got there quite late in terms of the schedule, and it was I always remember that the guide looked at her watch at her phone really, and the clock, and said, it was 3:09, and she said we need to be leaving at 3:30. So we didn't have much time there at all, and it was 400 steps to the top, so we needed to get to the top if we chose to do so, and take some pictures and then come all the way down and meet at 3:30 to get onto our next destination, which was quite a long way away. And I just strode out, and I just basically well, I won't say sprinted up the steps, but I went for it straight up the steps. Took some pictures, back down by 3:30, and I met a couple of others who were in my tour bus or tour minivan, and a lot younger ladies than I. And I said to them, "Did you go to the top?" Because there was a lot of people, so you couldn't really see who was also up there. And they said, "Oh no, we realised we couldn't make it, so we didn't. We just sort of went up about the first level of steps and sort of gave up." I thought, okay, well, I mean, that's fine, everyone to each their own, but it was just another indication that I was sort of running on this very high energy. Jumping even further ahead, I suppose we'll get to today, and or current times. And I always mention in these videos, you know, it was only 3 or 4 weeks ago that I came up with this whole concept of what my mission is, and I've talked about that, and I'm doing some writing that's soon to go up on my website about this mission coming to me. And it's been noticeable that my energy has gone to even higher levels, higher realms, whatever way we want to describe it, since coming up with my mission, such that flowing into me is a lot of ideas. But I've noticed as well, apart from just this get up and get into the day and have high energy throughout the day, so from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep, and having these very interesting sleeps these days in terms of dreams, but again, that's a whole another story. that the energy is noticeable. And again, that I talked about that resonance earlier on, and it's this low level, it's like an electric current around me, and noticeable, I guess, around my head, or just emanating somewhere around my head. And physically, energy is very high. So it's definitely, it definitely exists in my life. It's a magical place to be. You know, I talk about life being easier, or things being easier in the higher realms, and there's a lot of things come from the higher realms, and energy is definitely one of those things. And of course, being vital and energetic makes life easier. So these are just some examples again of what I've experienced and what I've written about. So you're welcome to go and have a read of the stories, or look at these videos. You're welcome to contact me if you wish, if you have any questions or discussions. Just before we go, I did this once before in one of my videos with regards to pendulums and their ability to pick up on energy. So I thought I'd do it again. I actually bought myself a new pendulum just a few days ago. It's a rainbow moonstone. So again, you know, the rainbow aspect. I'll hold it up and we'll see where we get to, so we can probably see most of it. Sorry, I'll just see if we can get the top there. I'm just going to hold it above my hand, and as we can see, it's kind of taking off already. And if I pull it up a bit higher, it's probably going to resonate out further. That's because the spiral of the energy is going out wider as it gets higher. So it's going almost horizontal now, and I'm really not flicking this. It's just the way it goes. So there's my energy, very high. Alright, I'll leave the video at that. So thank you very much for joining me in this beautiful setting. I'll get on the road soon and go to my next destination. I will obviously make some more videos tomorrow, and in the meantime I will say to you, enjoy the journey. We will meet when we should, and namaste.